I have thoughts. So I was something that's been coming to me like last night and then again this morning, so I'm sharing it with y'all because it keeps coming. Is that a pattern I'm noticing, and that every close relationship, family, friendship, baby daddy, romantic, whatever, that has been unhealthy, it started with a disrespect for my time. Was like where the subtle sabotage started. It's like not showing up when you say you're gonna show up. Oh, I just run late. Oh, it's just my ADHD. Oh, it's just, and like making an excuse for it instead of acknowledging that that's rude. That is disrespectful. My time is important to me, and if you can't acknowledge my time is important to me, why are you here? And slowly sabotaging my healthy habits. And that's not to say I'm not responsible for not, because I am. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, somebody made me. No, I'm grown. But doing things like impacting my sleep so I couldn't get up in the morning and go to the gym. Or, I mean, I could have, but like, once you're lifting heavy, if you don't have enough sleep, at least for me, I was more likely to be injured, so I'm not going to go lift heavy. Or complaining about me writing in my journal. I've been a journaler for years. That's how I process. That's just, even whether it's like a verbal journal, I'm an external processor to some extent, right? Just because of how I think, how my brain works. And all of this to say, when people start weaponizing how you cope with life, or when people start weaponizing or sabotaging your healthy habits, like your bedtime or the way you eat, or interrupting your gym time intentionally, purposefully calling you, texting you, doing all those things when they know you at the gym and they know your gym time is important to you, take heed and move around, because anybody who wants to take away the things that are positively impacting you is not truly for you. And I say that because I feel like every single time it's always like my sleep, which makes sense because you can't think as clearly if you're not well rested. What I eat, again, I have certain sensitivities and prefer and need to eat a specific way to feel my best, and my exercise. And those are three big things that I always tell people. You need movement, you need sleep, you need food, water, shelter to regulate. And then my favorite part is like near the end of that relationship when they try to flip it and be like, oh, well, I'm just trying to be healthier, so I'm going to bed earlier, or I need to start moving more, or things like that. And I'm just looking at them sideways like, didn't you just tear me down for doing that same thing? Weren't you just mad about me for doing that same thing? And I realized, I'm pretty sure that my ex was reading my journal. And I say that because they would ask me things or say things that, like, I was like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? And then later I'd be like, oh, I did write something similar in my journal a few days, weeks, whatever ago. And then at the very, very end, they said what did they say? How do you think it makes you feel when you're over there writing in your journal? And I was just like, what? You're in my space. What am I supposed to do? Not write in my journal? So now I can't write in my journal. And they would like interrupt me while I was doing readings, while I was getting ready for work. Intentionally keeping you on chaos. And that's kind of what it comes down to, is essentially keeping you in this space of chaos. Because if you're in this space of chaos, it's more difficult for you to actually process what's going on. I know for me, and I'm just going to say that I'm assuming this is for others too, when you're in a space of chaos, you're easier to gaslight as well because your brain already feels chaotic. And I know for me, part of the reason I also journal is because I like to look back and be like, okay, what was going on? What was I truly thinking? Because it saved me a few times. Like, I've gone back in my journal and be like, hold on, because on March 2nd at 3:42 p.m., I wrote in my journal that you said this in quotes, and I got screenshots that I printed out and put in my journal because I didn't want to have to write everything you said when I wrote about how it made me feel. So that's also a reason I tell people to journal, especially if you have, like, extensive trauma, or even struggles with memory, because it's just helpful. It's helpful to remember what was going on, especially after COVID and things got weird with the collective trauma. journaling is so important, and being able to have access to those journals so you can go back and look and be like, okay, what was I going through? But also, what might I look back? I've looked back to journals and be like, hold on. This page that I flipped to is real encouraging. Let me go ahead and savor the good times, or look back and see how much I've grown, because we can get so focused on fitting into these boxes or into these shoulds and supposed tos, and what we're supposed to be doing, or just going to work, or just scrolling and things like that, that we don't give ourselves the credit. And I say we because I know it's me too. We don't give ourselves the credit that's due for the growth we've made, the healthy habits that we are sustaining, the consistency that we've sustained, regardless of the fact that instead of just staying down, like, we've gotten back up, we've gone back to these healthy habits and taking care of ourselves, right? So this is your reminder that your healthy habits are important. Again, those non-negotiables important. If anything impacts them, move that thing around or adjust, but don't quit. Don't ever quit. Don't quit on your dream, and don't quit on taking care of yourself, because A, you deserve those things, and B, nobody should be taking those things away from you or trying to take those things away from you. And if they are, then ask yourself if they really deserve to be around you. I mean, like, kids and responsibilities is a little different. Like, don't be dramatic, but use your discernment, of course. Take what resonates and don't take what doesn't. But, like, if you know, you know.